Hi everyone.
Hi guys.
So lovely to see you again today. It is lovely, isn't it?
It's always lovely.
You know, sometimes we don't want to see you. No, we always do.
No.
We always do. Today we're just going to talk about a subject which I think is often something that's kind of in the background of perfume chat and of videos, and that's cost, isn't it? You know, we're often reviewing ridiculously expensive fragrances, and we have made the comment now and then, oh, for this money I would expect blah.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we do the other side of the coin,
Yeah.
which is, for this money, I'm getting blah. You know, and I think with that in mind,
Yeah.
we thought we'd go to the other end of the spectrum.
I mean, you're 100% right. We've talked about a lot of very expensive fragrances, reviewed lots of new expensive fragrances which have come out, some which we've really liked, some others not quite so much so. And we don't, I guess this video is to prove that we don't just like expensive fragrances, and also we don't just buy expensive fragrances. A lot of, several of the fragrances we're going to talk about, I've bought in the last few months and bought them and worn them and really enjoyed them. And the other thing just to say about this, so this is not just a cheapies, this is a classic cheapies fragrance, because people, we did shortly after we set up our channel, we did a cheapies video, and people, one of the comments, the requests we get more than almost anything else is, can you do another cheapies video, which we are doing now. But I think we both kind of felt that the best cheapies are not the clones, the rip-offs, the things you get in the market, the fragrances which are profiting off of other people's creativity. Actually, the best cheapies, the best way to get great fragrances for hardly any money is these classic fragrances. There's a reason why these are being produced for 15, 20, 25, 30, 50 years. I mean, how many fragrances being released at the moment are going to be around in like 2050?
Some of them may not even be around in 50 minutes.
Absolutely.
They might be discontinued as we speak.
So,
I hope not.
I mean, all of these fragrances, are they all pre-2000?
Yes.
I think they are, and they are all...
Well, mine are. I think yours are as well, yeah.
They're all under £30 currently available. So we're not going to have any fragrances that say, oh yeah, well this is being discontinued, or if you get it pre-reformulation. We're not talking about, we're just talking about currently available, current formulation, currently under £30. These are all fragrances which are masculine marketed, which is not what we normally do on our channel, but it just happens to be a way of
it's the way they are at the moment.
Right.
Good. So see you next time.
So where do we start? So it's not a top 10. It's just a.
It's a top 14 if I'm looking correctly.
Should we start with one? Well, one that Joe introduced me to, and one that, as you see from how empty this bottle is, this is Jaipur by Boucheron.
What a gem.
And this is my second bottle of the EDT I've had. So this is Anik Monado. Anik Monado. This is, let me just check my notes for how much you can get it for. You can get this as £24.59, including delivery online. So as I said, this is one Joe introduced me to, and it really is one I wear a lot. It's also one that when I wear, my wife goes, God, that's a really great one.
Yeah. She's right. She's absolutely right.
It's such a great one. It's such a kind of a simple,
beautiful,
slightly spiced citrus. Quite a lot of cinnamon in there, isn't there?
Yeah. Beautiful, round, like a little clovey.
Slightly clovey. There's a slightly resinous quality. Already I'm getting the feeling of like it's filling the loft with this round resinous.
And it's sort of energetic as well.
It's energetic, it's bright, it's uplifting. It feels weird that it came out in 1998. I wouldn't have placed it there. I think I would have instinctively assumed it was more like 88.
Yeah, I mean, it feels of that classic vintage, doesn't it?
But it honestly is one that if I was presented it to in some kind of some artisanal fragrance house that have just launched and they said it was lots of really expensive materials and it cost $200, for 50ml, I'd be going, oh yeah, I really like that.
Yeah.
I would like to wear it.
I'd buy it.
And it is.
Well, quite literally.
Well, I mean, I have bought it. I bought several bottles of it. I prefer the EDT to the EDP.
Yeah,
I mean, the EDT performs extremely well, and I feel it's kind of got a little bit more transparency.
Yeah.
The EDP feels a bit more kind of thick and creamy.
I think I've got both, and I find. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's a wider question, but with an EDP, I think if you're detracting from the original soul and character of a fragrance,
for the sake
then
of
maybe
performance,
it's not such a good thing. The whole essence of what makes it great is its sparkle and its brightness, and the warmth is already there in spades. So
unbelievably good.
Why fix it if it ain't broke?
Again, if this was Frederic Malle, I would say it's worth the price tag.
Yeah, totally agree.
Hit me.
Well, I think I want to start with this little bad boy. This lovely.
You started with a very, very.
He's a goodie. Aramis 900. The baby brother of Aromatics Elixir, maybe. Give that a squirt. See what you think.
This is what I keep meaning to buy, which is insane.
Get it.
Because
You've got to get it.
How much does it cost?
This was £23 the last time I checked, which was this morning on Amazon. I think I bought it for even £18 or £19. 1973 is when this bad boy was born.
It smells so elegant.
Yeah.
It smells so many cheap fragrances, or even so many expensive designer fragrances, feel like they're kind of quickly put together and competing notes. This smells so elegant.
Yeah, it's just smooth. It's beautifully refined. You've got coriander, you've got rosewood, big dose of carnation, and then these this sort of mossy base. That traditional chypre structure.
It's
really great.
It's ridiculous how good that smells. Really ridiculous.
I mean, this is from a family of great pedigree, isn't it? You've got the original Aramis from 1966, I think, ish. You've got Havana, which I thought about bringing. I love JHL. I've got that bad boy. I keep saying bad boy. Sorry, we're not in America. New West. There are a few of them, and they're really, really all well made. The sort of so-called gentleman's collection, as they call it. But I mean, I love that. I think it's Bernard Chant, I think, did it, and it just feels like a beautiful, rich layer of
so complex, but so homogeneously put together.
I remind myself.
It's
unbelievably
sophisticated.
And I really I find more and more the rosiness I love. It's just sort of lurking.
There's a kind of herbal complexity as well in there.
I mean, it feels like an absolute classic of the time.
But it doesn't feel like you're quite like your kind of just 80s aromatic fougere. It feels like there's a...
It's not the big sort of medallion chest rub.
No, it's a little bit more delicate, a little bit more thinking man's fragrance in that.
Confident and assertive, but sort of understated as well at the same time.
Amazing. I talk about one which is reasonably new to me. I made Joe spray this earlier. Paul Sebastian Fine Cologne. So I bought this. You can't really buy it in the UK. I bought it from America, from Fragrance X. So including shipping, look at this awful bottle, isn't it? Terrible. Including shipping from the Fragrance X in the US to the UK, it costs £20 and 11p. So that's including the price of getting it across the Atlantic. So this, when did this come up? Look where I'm finding my notes. So this came out in 1979, so quite a while ago.
My birthday.
So, I mean, the spray has completely gone to shit, but you spend 20 quid on fragrance, that's what you get, I suppose.
But what's inside that spray is very special.
I mean, we sprayed, and we talked about this earlier today, but so when you first spray, you think, oh yeah, okay, I know this. Aromatic kind of fougere, kind of lavender dominant, fresh, straight out of the gym kind of thing. But what's weird is there's a lot of ylang ylang in the mid, and rose as well. Really quite some, even so soon on card, I'm getting all those rich kind of thick florals in the mid.
Straight away they start to emerge, don't they?
That feels not necessarily characteristically masculine aromatic fougere.
No,
so
no.
Already you've got something a bit more interesting.
It's really tenacious as well, isn't it?
Well,
it's just, it sort of goes and goes. Even on the card earlier.
On skin, for me, this lasts all day, and what becomes, you get this slightly clovey spiciness after you've gone through the florals, but then you get this musk, which lasts just absolutely forever. And again, it's just so elegantly put together. It's such high level of perfumery.
I mean, that just, it smells
so
way
skillful.
more expensive than that, yeah. It's so smoothly done, it's got such a lot of personality. You know, you could so easily just expect a kind of citrusy,
Lavender-y,
woody thing, and but, you know, to hell with it. It's not at all, it's instantly recognizable, it instantly sort of announces itself. And also, now that I've smelt that, I would know it anywhere. You know, that's a mark of a real personality, isn't it?
Yeah.
It has a voice of its own. I'll remember that smell.
I mean, I remember somebody sent me a sample of this about 6 or 9 months ago, and he said there is no chance you will dislike this.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely right. And I sprayed it. I was like, this is amazing. This is insane. Why am I spending $250 a bottle when I can get it for $20 a bottle?
Absolutely, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Amazing. So that was Paul Sebastian Fine Cologne.
I've already typed in the order on my phone earlier, so that's on its way to me as well. Good. What's next? I can't decide what to do next. You know, that's a tough one.
It's tough.
Well, okay, I'm going to go sort of silly now. I've talked about this before, but sex appeal for men. I may have included this on a cheapies video before. I don't know, but all I know is when I first got this, I think it was £7, which is so it's cheap. You know, that's the brief. Now, I mean, on recent checking. I've not even included it here, but I think you can still buy this for about a tenner, and I think it's 1974, 75, and it's just.
They don't make bottles like that anymore, do they?
They should really, because it's so cheap. Plastic top, you see, good for the environment and for aesthetics. But you know, it's initially maybe it's a bit rough, but the dry down, that patchouli honey thing, it's just beautiful, I think. Well, it's not really that rough, is it?
No, it's not. It's really not.
It sort of has its elbows out slightly.
It's surprisingly elegant straight away, actually.
Well, I find, now I'm so used to it, I find it, when I first sprayed it, it was a bit of a shock to the system. But
isn't it weird, because so many, a few of the recent designer releases we've smelt, when you first spray them, you think, okay, this is quite rough, but it's only 80 quid, you know, a bottle. So you give it a few moments and it'll settle down. But actually, these 10 quid a bottle fragrances.
And you know, I've got to read you this blurb because this is what it's all about. Sex appeal. Now you don't have to be born with it. This provocative, stimulating blend of rare spices and herbs was created by man for the sole purpose of attracting women at will. Man can never have enough. Good.
Lucky will.
So yeah, I mean, and it says it in French on the back, which is bound to be even more attractive, I would say. And also, I think in Spanish. So it's great. But yeah, that it's mainly for me the spices and the patchouli. It's like orangey sort of citrus.
Yeah, I get some kind of like
thing at the top.
sweet tobacco-y, like there's a kind of sweetness.
No, yeah, absolutely. A little bit at the start, and it emerges more and more as it goes. But it's fun. It's such a cheapie, and like really, the dry down is lovely. I've smelled this on a t-shirt the following day after wearing it. I thought, what was I wearing yesterday? That's really good. And I smell it, and it was that.
It was that.
And it was about £7 or £8 for a bottle. And of course, I thought about bringing musk as the other potential. Same sort of price. I think 7 or 8 quid I got that for. And it's really good. I mean, it's slightly on the sweet, cloying side, maybe. Certain weather, you know, suits it better than others. But my God, for the price, 10 on 10, I would say.
Amazing. Can I go for something slightly in the same ballpark? I've only owned this for about a month. I paid £17.99 for this.
Look at that.
Lagerfeld classic. I saw a few people speak about it. I think it was mostly on Instagram. And also on Oh My Soul,
Oh yeah, yeah.
the fragrance group Oh My Soul. So Christy had posted. I know Christy, who runs the group, has got several bottles of this, and I saw other people post about it. So just a reminder, these bottles are all current formulations. So it's not, 1980s ones with kind of unicorn bottles. These are ones I've just bought it on eBay for £17.99.
The current release, the current.
Yeah,
crop.
so there's no question of you being able to get hold of it. So this
It's
actually,
good, isn't it? It is really good.
this has got something in relation to the Jovan sex appeal. So it's a kind of sweet tobacco chypre, and at the beginning there is kind of brightness and sweetness, almost like a cherry tobacco. But what is amazing, really amazing when you wear it, is this complex sheepery, ambery dry down, which you just don't expect. I mean, it's not a big fragrance, it sits quite close to you all the time, but there's just such complexity.
Yeah.
And it's really sexy.
I love this tobacco ashiness I'm getting already, but kind of balanced with
Yeah.
it feels like a sort of cherry.
It feels quite.
mentholy, but not without going to the direction of Havana and those cherry tobaccos.
It's not as
doesn't
kind
do
of.
that.
It's not as blunt as that.
No,
I don't
no.
think it's. And as I said, this is not a big fragrance. I do feel it sits quite close to you, but it's more of an intimate fragrance, and it just hangs around you. And then, as I said, it's just once you get a few hours in, you get that ambery, sheepery balance of bitter and sweet alongside the kind of sweet tobacco.
Beautiful.
Is unexpectedly complex and rewarding.
See, I've seen the name Karl Lagerfeld around, and I've never tried anything
But it's
from the house ever.
And I
there
only
more
bought
out
this.
there
I
now?
bought this just over a month ago, and in the midst of a lot of things we talk about are expensive, brand new releases. This is a 1978 release, and
It's a good year.
I've worn it quite a lot since I bought it, and I really enjoy it, and I will continue to wear it lots. It's great,
It really is beautiful,
lovely,
isn't it?
lovely.
And for the price as well, 17 quid.
£17.99.
Oh shit.
But
you know,
that is including postage.
yeah, it's really good. It's really good. I mean, there's nothing like that these days. Nothing. It's like 80 quid for a bog standard poo. What next? Okay, I think there are a couple here that are sort of similar, but it doesn't matter. I want to go with Giorgio, I think. Now, look at that bright yellow headache-inducing bottle. But I have to say, this one I love. So Giorgio, this is from 1984. Current price I found online, there you go, mate, it was £19.
This is another one.
I
Which
think
is
I got
on
it for
my
even
to-buy.
less than that. I got it in a pharmacy in Shepherd's Bush for about 15, I think it was.
Really, pleasingly familiar, but
It is, isn't it? There's a big aldehydic opening.
but
for me.
isn't it weird how cohesive it is
Straight away, yeah.
and how elegantly put together and how weirdly expensive it smells?
It really does. I mean, I think I smell that and
Oh
I'm
it's
taken
really
to things
good, isn't
like
it?
Beau de Jour, not Beau de Jour, what is it called? I can't remember the name, Beau Revoir maybe. And it's something they have at Geoffrey, which I really love. But your Givenchy, Gentleman,
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
guys, it's in that ballpark. But there was this lovely honey carnation thing going on in the middle.
It's freakishly elegant,
Yeah.
isn't it?
I mean, do you know, I first heard of this, and this will make you laugh, maybe, I don't know. But it was in an episode of Friends, and Ross was wearing something, like someone had made a comment to him or something, or said, hey, sexy. And he said, this is every bit as good as Giorgio. And I remember thinking, what's Giorgio? I've got to look that up and find out what it is. And it's this bad boy.
It's
So
incredible,
it
isn't
works
it?
for David Schwimmer.
Yeah.
It's
been a
really
blast.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Familiar as hell, but for the price, my God.
Yes. Unbelievable.
Elegant, refined. So what year was this? Yeah, 1984. So bang in the middle of that time, wasn't it? When these guys were coming to prominence, and probably a few others as well. I don't know, Pierre Cardin, maybe that
Yeah.
thing. Versace had. They all went through a spate of these style
Yeah.
sort of mossy fougères.
I mean, we haven't included Drakkar Noir
Aniseed.
on this.
No, I did think about bringing.
I
Drakkar
did
Noir.
think, but I personally find Drakkar Noir a bit harsh whenever I have that first spray, and I also recently bought Beverly Hills Red.
Oh yeah.
But again, I find that a bit harsh.
It doesn't necessarily settle down from the opening, does it?
And so that's why they haven't quite made it into this video. But this 100%, million percent, like
it's smooth and effortless, and I love the colour as well. I mean, it's a sort of weird off-lime green, which excites me. And the bottle, I think that's not a bad bottle, I would say.
Yeah, in terms of what we're dealing with here, which is really cool. I mean, if I say
Jaipur is nice.
Jaipur, but this lid, I've had to super glue it back together because it fell to bits.
Oh god.
So,
so you're not getting.
And this Paul Sebastian.
I
mean, this is appalling. Right.
And this is bad if you suffer from epilepsy or any other neurological condition.
Don't shake it.
It's just a bit too bright.
Whilst we're in those kind of real classic, so we're going for something more expensive now.
I can see this. You can't, but it's a treat.
So this is Azzaro pour Homme. So this is actually a 200ml bottle.
It's bigger than Dan's head.
Which I can't remember how long I've had it, but look at it. Look how much I've used.
You put a little dent in there.
I mean, I have had it like 10 years or so, but
it's so good.
This is your kind of reference point. 80s, even though it came out in 1978.
This is the one.
It's the kind of reference point, kind of aromatic barbershop fougere.
Absolutely the one.
In which you could talk about things like Rive Gauche.
Yeah.
But I always prefer this. This is just a little bit more aniseed, a little bit more.
It's a bit more bolshy as well, isn't it? It's a bit more confident somehow.
Yeah.
That's so. I mean, there's just no other planet in which that's not brilliant.
So good. Gerard Anthony,
that's absolutely beautiful.
And actually, it's just filled the space.
Yeah.
It just fills of. It's just class. It's absolute class.
I mean, I'd happily wear that every day.
Oh.
I've got a small bottle of it. I thought about bringing it, and then I just suddenly thought to myself, it's not going to make the cut, and I hoped you would bring it. And you did.
But it's
perfect, isn't it?
I think this is the, for that genre of barbershop fougere, which is quite a big genre actually, I think.
Yeah. It spawned a lot.
Even in the modern iteration, which this is.
I mean, Luca Turin says, has he not? He's met a load of perfumers who all claim to have been the brains behind that fragrance. Yeah. Everyone wants to get a piece of the pie.
It's perfection.
It's so beautiful. The herbaceousness is what I love. Because it feels like it's earthy and full of body, but at the same time it's bright and herbaceous and kind of full of energy.
I really think
it's a sort of power suit, Wall Street.
GOF Trumper Paisley is a slight nod to this.
Absolutely, yeah.
They've made it.
I smelled that the other day, and
it's really good, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's really, really good. But this is cheaper.
Yeah, it's absolutely the origin as well. Like, why go for the
love it.
The sort of the inspiration since. Go for the Oracle. They've not made anything of interest since, I don't think. From what I've smelled.
I smelled a few of them and dismissed
them. So long as they keep making that, though, I think we'll be lucky. Shall I bring another one out?
Sure. What have we got?
Well, let's stay in a similar ballpark with
I love this one again.
Roger and Gallet Homme. This is the original. So this is from 1979, the year when a great man was born, which is me. Now, I got this for £20 in a pharmacy in High Street, Kent, actually. There you go, mate. But this is available on Amazon at least for £25, and you can probably get it cheaper than that if you do
Other retailers are available.
Yeah, exactly. There are. Yeah, we shouldn't encourage Amazon. You're bad, naughty. But it's absolutely another reference of the sort of barbershoppy.
Well, we're still in the same kind of territory.
Yeah, I mean this thing, rather than sort of aniseed, it's maybe more minty.
Yeah,
in the opening.
A little bit more bitterness as well to it.
Yeah, it's a little bit more bitter. It's a little bit darker, maybe.
It now makes the Azzaro feel a little bit sweeter somehow.
Yeah. It's maybe a bit more woodsy and sort of nutmeg there.
And spice, as opposed to the Azzaro, which is more the herbaceous, ever so slightly sweet. This is more woods. Oh yes, this is definitely going darker, more kind of mossy dark Woods.
It's a bit more serious, isn't it? It doesn't quite have the
But
energy.
it's still, as you say, it's definitely within that barbershop shaving foam aromatic fougere.
And the dry down is lovely. I mean, it's really beautiful.
Oh, that's so good.
I really love it, and it's kind of simple. Everything is there in the right amount, in the right quantity.
Again, like
balanced, a little, maybe a little bit rough around the edges, but I kind of don't care.
Even on first spray. As I said, there are things like Dracarnal, which I didn't include because I do find it a bit rough on first spray.
Yeah.
And I've got a couple of other things which did feel a bit rough. I think all the ones we're talking about here are not. There's no if you can get over the opening, then you can just about cope.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe one. Maybe one I'll leave to the end, but I'll talk about that.
But it's really easy. I find it such
really
an easy
easy,
wear.
yeah.
Like on certain days, I think, I don't know what to do. And that's not to make it sound like it's sort of not inspiring, but it's just such an easy thing to put on.
Yeah.
It's bracing and fresh, clean, but with enough body and enough interest to be more than a sort of gym set.
Amazing.
So yeah.
Awesome stuff.
They have quite a few others as well. Check them out.
Yeah.
There's a nice patchouli thing. They do a nice minty thing as well.
I'm going to go with another recent purchase, which is, this is amazing that I didn't have it for a long time. So one of the first fragrances I remember really wearing and experiencing was Polo Green. And so this is a fragrance which is sometimes compared to it slightly, even though it's not exactly the same, which is a recent purchase, which is
so good.
Quorum by Puig. So when did this come out? 1981. So it's Rosendo Mato, who's quite a prolific perfumer.
Oh, yeah.
Carlos Benem and Max. I can't remember my writing. Geoffrey. So 2 IFF perfumers as well. Anyway,
That's
this is a big Puig release from 1981, still being sold loads. So we mentioned it recently when we were talking about Manly by Richard Doré, because this
is really manly, isn't it?
it is manly. This is real starter fight manly. And this is, so of course this is a modern bottle, so this is not real oak moss. Well, there's maybe a little bit of oak moss, but it's Verimoss largely. And you still get, it's just this.
It just really works, doesn't it?
It's just this oak mossy, leathery.
But fresh as well. I love the fact that it has this freshness. I think that's
tobacco-y.
That's what works in these, is when it's kind of bracing as well.
But again, coming back to this thing, I've only just sprayed this. This cost me £11.87, including delivery for 100ml.
There are perfumes where you spend that on the delivery.
Yeah, more than that. But yet, for first spray, it's smooth and elegant and well put together. Oh, and again,
totally wonderful.
I only bought this for the first time a few months ago. A while ago, someone sent me a vintage sample of it, which was really, really, really amazing, which obviously had lots of real oak moss in, which this doesn't, but I still get the oak moss effect, as well as the tobacco and leather in it. Yeah. And it's so good, and it's so expensive smelling.
It really is, isn't it? And it's almost like, again, it's like a non-perfume. This is the smell of a really well-groomed man.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of out of the shower, just that bodily smell. It's sort of lightly animalic. I mean, it's not the same, but it's not something like Platinum Egoist by Chanel out of the water.
I mean,
it's a different style, but that sort of woodsy, somewhat,
but even
undefined masculinity.
Designer and a lot of niche fragrances.
Yeah, it does. I mean, I can think of so many things that try to do this and fail miserably at 5 times the cost.
And as you said, I mean, we just talked about
so good.
Manly by Richard Doré for $222 for 30ml. I mean,
it's incredible.
I think I probably prefer this one.
Yeah, I need to try that again. I mean, this is an old favourite, but it's similar vein, I think. Tabac. I've got the EDT of this as well, but the EDT is a little bit similar to Giorgio for my money, so I didn't bring it. But I brought this, which I love. So this, I should just give you a little heads up. This is from 1959.
Probably the oldest one here, isn't it?
Maybe, yeah. Currently about £10. There you go.
And certainly in the UK, this is available at every pharmacist.
You'll find it in Boots and places like that.
It's available absolutely everywhere. And there is a reason why these fragrances are around for this long.
They do the trick.
and surprisingly smooth and elegant from first spray, isn't it?
I love this. This reminds me of some really close family friends that we were, well, we still are, but friends with when we were younger, and we would spend every Christmas together. And I remember the guy, we called him Uncle. He wore this, and it's such a familiar, comforting smell. The minute I found it when I was older and realised what it was, I had to get
It's
it
amazing.
straight away.
It's really amazing.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I mean, there's a lot going in here. You've got aldehydes, lavender, bergamot. You've got the oak moss. You've got the tobacco. And it's
really
so
good,
smooth.
isn't it? It's kind of an aldehydic, woody sheep pro.
Yeah. And this is an eau de cologne strength. It doesn't last all day, but it certainly sticks around for a good while.
Yeah.
And at that price point, I don't mind reapplying it as often as needs be. I love it. And it's sort of understated and smooth somehow. It doesn't shout, but it has
But
kind
you
of has
feel,
presence. Doesn't it?
I feel there's this kind of like sheepery, woody complexity in there.
And the carnation for me is the winner.
Well, I think that's the great kind of floral segue from the woods, isn't it? Carnation, that classic masculine flower.
The sandalwood just sort of underpinning it.
Yeah.
And on there it's good. On skin, it's an absolutely different story. It just, everything warms up. Everything warms up and the transitions are seamless.
It just makes you realise what absolute
weird
turd is available on the design.
So much crap. And that comes with a full range of deodorants and soaps and shower gels and things. I love it. I think it's great. And the packaging, even though it's kind of cat, I really like as well. I bought this for £7 when I got it. It was £7, and that's, I've had more expensive sandwiches and dropped them on the floor. So
I've got another recent purchase, one I only got 6 or 7 weeks ago again, which is one I'd seen people talk about a lot, but this is a modern bottle of Lapidus, 10th Lapidus Quorum. So this is Martin Grass from Simrise, who also did Cerruti 1881.
I love that fragrance.
So this is a 1987 release, and this is...
WrestleMania 3, that was that year.
Really?
Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Pontiac Silverdome.
This smells like all of them.
Perfect.
I've got 3 cards out, so I'll save one for someone else. But this, this is really, again, this is one I made show spray earlier. Look at this, absolutely colossally cheap and terrible.
But it's really like a nuclear container, isn't it? That sort of not corrugated. What's the word? That sort of effect. I really like that a lot.
No expense spent there. So this is this is really interesting. This is on one hand you get this slight feel of, you think, I kind of know this is a kind of 80s aromatic fougere, but then there's just some bonkers things going on here. So there's quite a lot of pineapple, there's quite a lot of honey.
It works, doesn't it? It really works.
And this makes me think of the in a funny way, makes me think of Paco Rabanne Phantom, which we recently reviewed, which is an absolute car crash. It smelled revolting.
It's our motorway pile-up in fog.
And this kind of feels like it's got some of the same complexity and some of the same notes, but somehow it works.
It just steers clear of the disasters that could emerge, doesn't it? It just does it all so much better.
And I like the way it's got... again, Joe and I were saying this earlier in the day when we smelt it. It kind of works as an out of the shower, fresh barbershop-y fougere thing, but it's also got a kind of a snuggly, intimate, cuddle-up, ambery thing. But actually, it's also got a kind of like going out clubby thing as well.
I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's kind of got all of those.
It's just so versatile, isn't it? Even on card. I get the freshness, but I do get this. I can tell already that this is going to dry down to something really warm and cozy.
And it's very, very big in performance. It lasts a long time on me, and it's big.
Also, it's just so nice smelling something of a bygone age, but that's within our living memory. Like the old Gallet from 100 years ago, wonderful.
Yeah, but
we weren't there. This. I remember these smells in the air. It takes me back, and I think,
the time when
so good.
Everyone our age was wearing Acquatigio and
Isimiaki. which I still love, but my God, it's just another level. It's funny, isn't it? Because these are cheapies, but it's not that things aren't being made now, which is
£16.89.
£16, yeah,
including
incredible.
delivery.
But there's nothing modern here because I just don't think perfume is in that place at the moment.
Yeah.
It's either very bold and daring, but still sort of crazily expensive in the designer realms, or it's little indie houses doing interesting things. But for these guys, which were presumably the fairly mainstream things of their time,
but that's
it's
why.
wonderful.
But that's why they're still being produced.
Yeah, this is the thing. You know how tight these companies are about sales and about there's no point. I don't know. Maybe they don't spend as much money on it as Dior do on something at the moment. And if it doesn't sell, it's considered a flop. So maybe they can sneak in under the radar. But I get the sense that there's a loyal following here, and they care enough to know. Am I being optimistic?
Well, there must be a reason why these are still selling for 20, 30, 40, 50 years.
And at that price point, they must be doing okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely delightful. I really like it a lot. So I've got two more. I want to save the best till last. So I might go for this little bad boy here. Zino, Davidoff. Now we were talking earlier about sort of not wanting to have clones, things that were cloning other things. So, I could have bought like an Armath thing that smells like a green Irish tweed for like 5p, but that's not really what it's about. But interestingly, this perfume here, there you go, mate. I mean, that's a great I remember. Great bottle. Now this is from 1986. It's currently £32 on one viewing, but you can get it for cheaper.
Just over our budget.
It's just over, but in fact, I think it is available. It's widely available cheaper. I got this for 25 quid, like a year or so ago in Beauty Base. But Beau de Jour by Tom Ford.
I was going to say 100% like you just...
that. And this was first. This was 1986.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult not to think of Beau de Jour now, isn't it? I mean, it's in the same place as Azzaro and things like that, isn't it?
Yeah. But again, it's the carnation, it's the lavender, the geranium, all of those aspects.
More floral, definitely more floral than Azzaro.
Yeah. But I mean, it's so smooth on skin as well.
Really, really good, straight off the first spray.
Yeah. And I ignore the 32, that's just what I found today, but you can get this for cheaper. And it's regularly discounted, and you'll find it in, what do you call them in the States? Beauty bins, bargain bins, drugstore things. It's out there. And I love it, I really love it. The personality is huge.
Yeah. When did this come out?
86. There's a bit of pepperiness there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, a little bit, but
it feels like there's some really vibrant.
I'm just thinking a bit compared to the Azzaro, and there's definitely more kind of floral.
Yes, this is much more floral.
This
feels, rose and jasmine.
The Azzaro feels more aniseedy, herbaceous. This feels more floral. It's great though.
Again, it's that Wall Street power suit. 8 a.m. going to work. You're going to make some $1 million deals.
American Psycho. I wonder what he wears in American Psycho.
Sauvage.
Yeah. What? No, but isn't it? It's kind of. When did it come out? Like, is it 90s? I reckon he wore something like this. And it's set in the 80s. Yeah. So this is the kind of thing.
It would have been this kind of thing. But it's so good. I mean, I love it. It's so smooth as well. It goes on like a dream. I find it immediately comfortable to wear.
Makes you want to put on a suit and murder someone.
It really does, absolutely. On the weekend, absolutely. Beautiful. So I mean, that's cheapy, and of course they've done one other great masterpiece, which I think is Cool Water, of a different time. Maybe I wouldn't wear it so much today, but you could. I think you could comfortably survive all year round with Cool Water in the spring and summer, that in the autumn and winter, and you'd have two decent, versatile fragrances there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one more I've got to talk about. 120 ml, £15.30.
Wow.
This is not 120 ml. This is just 60 ml.
Oh, I really want to smell this again.
So I mean, this is very different to any of the others. I haven't got the date actually. I have to check it out. I'll put it on when I edit it, but.
This might be older than.
I think it probably is old. And this is
a classic, isn't it?
Very different. So this is a complex blue floral, violet iris, as well as oak moss.
That's really good.
It's really.
God, that's like classic.
Yeah.
That's like classic perfumery, isn't
Yeah,
it?
real classic, real elegant.
Geoffrey Beene, isn't it?
Yeah, there's a real ivy quality and a muguet quality in there as well.
And it's got that chalky minerality again.
And I think it's so interesting that it's kind of was marketed as a masculine fragrance. I mean, there's so much about that which could lend it to be a feminine fragrance. I mean, you know, as far as I'm concerned, if something smells good, wear it, no matter who it's marketed to. But there's such complexity, such kind of richness in there. I mean, of course, given the price, it's probably 100% synthetic, which is amazing that so much has been created from so little.
It works though, doesn't it? I mean, it's got that beautiful unapologetic aspect as well.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean,
it's like bolshy and says, "Here I am."
The first spray, this is the one I said, that. Like it's a little bit challenging, the first spray on skin, but for me, it just.
But you can see the kind of lineage from things like La Bleu, Après Longue.
Yeah. Oh, 100%, yeah.
Oh, it's really good.
Real big talcum powder quality.
That Parma Violet thing, slightly gassy.
Well, yeah, I was going to say Parma Violets, but also Violet Leaf as well. Muguet.
It's like the best part
Lily.
of. It's like the best part of Fahrenheit extracted. I really like that a lot.
Remarkably complex and clever.
God. So how much was that?
That is £15 and 13p for 120 ml.
That's incredible, isn't it?
Including delivery at the moment.
You can't go wrong with that.
There you go.
You really can't go wrong.
I'm done.
Good. Well, I've just got one more. Ta-da!
Oh, I have not smelt this. You mentioned this.
Stetson. Now check out the back. Look at that. There's a bloody cowboy on the back of the. I mean, I think. No, I was going to say I think he's an accountant by day and a cowboy by weekend.
You can't quite tell that bit.
So the bottle is just a little dinky thing like that. This was £10, and it's from 1981. Here you go, mate. I mean, this one is really one for the skin.
Look at the state of that.
It's so shit.
No expense spent.
And this feels like it's got a couple of weeks left. But it's just this weird sort of carnation-y, soft leather thing. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Clovey as well, really clovey. Clovey and cinnamony.
Big slug of oak moss, amber, clary sage. I mean, on skin, it's beautiful. Like it sort of goes in the direction of Lone Star Memories, but slightly lighter and.
I get loads of clove, cinnamon, spice.
Yeah. I mean, I've worn this a few times now. It's really growing on me every time. And actually,
That's really good.
I kind of like the bottle as well. It's deceptively simple. I mean, the plastic thing is really not good, but it's sort of beautiful, isn't it?
That's so good.
A little
smells
sort
so
of cheaper.
It's just unbelievable. But it does not smell. I mean, we're smelling lots of things here, and this does not smell harsh or rough.
No.
Or amazing.
And imagine that on skin.
Yeah.
You know? It warms up.
Really good.
You keep going back and smelling yourself. And
It smells something a little bit funky there. A little bit of.
Well, I wonder if there was a little kind of civety aspect in the base. I don't know.
There's something a little bit funky going there. Oh, I mean, it's been. Joe and I said we wanted to do this video for a while. There were lots of, because these are fragrances we enjoy wearing, and as you see, for both of us, there are not only fragrances we've had for a while, but fragrances we've bought recently. So it's not just ones we used to have as teenagers. They're ones that, amidst our buying expensive fragrances, we've been buying these and wearing them and loving them. And there's such an important place for them, and it's so important that we remind ourselves how good fragrances are without expensive raw materials, without limited edition runs, without expensive labels, without fancy bottles.
Don't need it. If it smells good,
wear it.
It's good. Wear it. You know. And I think the good thing about this is I feel more excited about these than I do about any of the sort of crazy stuff we wear, because this is a rabbit hole I'm prepared to go down. I'm not prepared to go down the rabbit hole of needing to remortgage my house, but I'm prepared to keep exploring these wonderful cheap things and
So
and also it's reconnecting to our past as well. That's the thing. It's not just about the price.
like these three I bought within about a month of each other, you know, and I had changed for 50 quid for 300 mil.
It's incredible. It's really incredible. But it's, you know, it's the connection to the past that I love, and and the fact that, you know, that once you like the Lapidus, once you smell that, then you'll find another thing that's in a similar ballpark but maybe slightly different, and that might bring up a different house, and you think, okay, I've not tried this. Like Kenzo, I've been reading today about a few Kenzo things. I thought I've never ever tried them. So there's loads and loads and loads and loads.
And even and I understand this. Of course, there is the danger of you go. There are discontinued fragrances, or people saying, "Oh, Quorum, if you get the original batch, that's great." And you can end up spending a lot of money trying to find these unicorns and discontinued items. But all of these are all currently available. These are all the modern reformulations. So
it would be so interesting, and maybe for a silly game, to add up the price of every perfume here. And see what we come up with. And I bet you've still got a better bargain than you would getting like a 500, 600 pound Roger or something. I mean,
definitely.
Even if you say 20 each, like, you know, what are you talking? Let's say 20 quid each, 14 fragrances. So what's that, like?
280 quid.
280 quid, yeah. That's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
For 14
for 100,
really quite amazing things.
I
mean, I'm not saying you've got to buy all of these in one go.
Yeah, we've talked about things like Bortnikov, which is 350 for 50 mil. $350 for 50 mil. This is 280 quid for
thousands of mils.
Thousands of mils, they're great things. I mean, I'd love to hear other recommendations, because
please,
this is a rabbit hole, but and there's lots we can go. But what I would particularly like to hear, because I know people will say, "Oh, this fragrance, which you can no longer get," I would love to hear ones which, in their current iteration, are still really great. And also, I mean, I know basically we could have done this. We also own and enjoy and buy modern versions of classic fragrances targeted for women. We just thought that there was only so much we could get into this video, so I'm sure there are loads and loads and loads of suggestions.
Cabochon and things like that. I want to try those.
But
it's a fantastic rabbit hole. And
but especially if there are any glaring omissions from this video, we would love to hear your recommendations.
Well,
till next time.
Success. Bye.
Happy sniffing.